Alright, mid-game rebalance preview. Was there actually any corn there? Not that I had much of in a past team. Hello Scapers! The mid-game rebalance is on its way, and we're strongly focusing this update on bringing certain mid-game related aspects up to standard. That means primarily looking at what can be buffed and where we can implement some good old quality of life improvements. Most excitingly, this update will be introducing the core fletching re-tier work that mods Breezy, Jack, and Stu have been tinkering away with for some time now. This re-tier will impact the value of certain fletching related items, and we strongly recommend you familiarize yourself with the changes. We will want you to consider whether you either hang on to any items that may increase in value with the update, or make use of certain items now, as they may deprecate in value once the update is implemented. A quick final note on the mid-game rebalance. What we lay out today are any design aims, and we are already working on to implement them. However, as with all previews, there's a chance that we may not be able to implement one thing or another exactly as described here, given the nature of still ongoing work. Let's get into it. Alrighty, our index, we have the core fletching re-tier, agility rebalance, divination rebalance, god war ascendant changes, general changes, and the drop rate changes. Core fletching re-tier. The core fletching re-tier design has been simmering for some time now, but we needed dedicated time and an associated project to roll it into. In short, this update aims to address most inconsistencies currently present in fletching. We want to ensure that you can enjoy a consistent training method and pathway through fletching and range combat that makes sense and is easy to understand. Currently, certain weapons and ammunition in fletching can require skill levels that are out of sync with the tiering of similar power weapons in the rest of the game. For example, rune arrows currently require a fletching level of 75, but a ranged smithing and mining level of 50. Important changes you should be aware of. Use short bows. Actually, I didn't realize it was 75. Okay. This shows how long it's been the last time I've been fletching. Important changes you should be aware of. Use short bows and long bows will be re-tiered to level 70. As a result, will become members only items. Free-to-play players will still have level 40 and 50 range options through Maple and Acadia bows. Hi Luis, thank you for the welcome back. How have you been? The max XP ignorance, I get honestly really washed after a while and forgetting things just because I haven't been skilling actively, you know? Where are we? Drop tables and shop inventory containing items that have been retired where appropriate will be replaced with the new item for that range level instead. Achievements and quests will be adjusted where needed to account for these retiring changes. Shield bows are being retired and replaced wholesale with their equivalent tier longbows. Our data indicates that shield bows have been left in such an awkward space that their usage is incredibly low, meaning that they actually add bloat and inconsistency to the game. By replacing them with longbows, we expect the choice of bow to be made easier and less confusing for players. The primary reason for this change is because shield bows have acted as a bit of a trap to newer players who are fletching them without realizing that they deal vastly reduced damage compared to an equivalent short bow despite them having a higher fletching requirement. All current shield bows would get a +1 range when converted to longbows. The strike bow will remain as a shield bow, though we'd love to hear your thoughts on the dark bow. Should it stay as is or be converted? I mean, it really is just an EOF item, isn't it? Not sure. Bane ammunition will be changed from having its own special creation methods to be unified with regular arrows and bolts. Toon Bane ore will be cast on Bane bolts arrows rather than Baneite ore or Baneite rock to enchant them into Abyssal, Basilic, Dragon, Wallace, I don't even know what that word is. Wallace Salky Bane bolt arrows. Toon Bane Aura will be cast on Dino arrows to enchant them into Jazz Demon Bane arrows. Primal ammunition will also be unified to be created in the same way as regular arrows and bolts. Unfinished bolts will be created by bars and feather like regular bolts. Primal bolts will be made in increments of 50 unfinished bolts per bar, bringing them in line with all other bolt creation quantities. That does make sense. The bolt and arrow proficiency leveling benefits will be removed, but their XP when you first unlock them will have a higher baseline. One final thing to note is that this is a re-tier of the core fletching skill rather than an entire skill overhaul. As such, re-tiering every single fletching item was out of scope of this project, and darts, knives, and javelins have not been affected. The in-game usage of these items is currently low enough for us to be able to make this decision for today, but we are keen to come back to them in future and reconsider their position in the game with a broader view. Oh, you got a light jet from Cat yesterday, so now you have GP for the construction update. Oh, amazing! Player owned mansion incoming. Very exciting. Yes, it has been absolutely brilliant. I'll be doing a show and tell photos later. Okay, but what if your level 60 range, what it is it then a think crystal? Oh, sorry, I haven't been thinking. I've been on holiday. Walalaski. Devalues your javelin only Iron Man. Fletching re-tiered tables. Alright, so for short bows, there's a table there, which I would not get into, and then long bows, also the table there. Note that we are not planning to introduce teak and mahogany short or long bows, as these are considered hardwood, which is entirely unsuitable for use in bow fletching. Fair. And then also crossbows. If only crossbows were still good. And then the arrows. And bolts. Alrighty. Agility rebalance. Following on the early game rebalance, we're looking to address the rest of the agility courses all the way up to level 99. Ooh. The below changes are intended to simply realign the XP and create a more consistent curve, and in almost all courses, you'll see sizable increases in XP per hour. Alright, let's have a look. I'm going to drag this around. So for Ape Toll, it's going from 46,400 to 49,200, which is a 6%. That is probably Anachronia Novice. 37,440 to 46,800. 25% increase. Is that a no, I don't know what that is. I can't. Why is it so awful? Wilderness. No changes apparently. Okay. Werewolf. I've been werewolf like one time. From 43,200 to 60,000 with a 39% increase. I don't like this table. Bandos. Hi! Did it for the quest? The Bandos there. I didn't remember that. From 39,000 in a bit to 60,171.4, which is a 54% increase. Head to Oasis, no change. Anaconia advanced from 51,600 to 70,000, 51% increase. Heathen. What does the number mean again? 77? 60,000 and a bit to 102,000, being a 70% change. Dorgish Khan, that is a massive increase of 132%. Heppen, 82, from 75,428.6 to 120,000, 59% increase. Advanced Gnome Stronghold, massive. From 65,250 to 162,000. At 148% increase. That's gotta be the biggest one yet. Anaconia Full is from 150 to 198, 32% increase. But where are the marks of grace? Advanced Barbarian Outpost is from 71,000 and a bit to 189,000, increasing at 166%. What the frick? And then the other two happens 52% and 51%. That's insane. That's gonna be so good. Because they definitely did do some favors with like increasing agility for when the beginner stuff. The beginner early game rebalance came in. But yeah, that's actually really good. I mean, not that I'm gonna do agility laps by any. Yeah, I mean, it's just the consequences of no more Silverhawks, but like in the best way, right? Like it's a good thing, not necessarily a bad thing with that. Um yeah, which is good. It's a good thing. Alrighty. Combo with Book of Olympus and you're eating good. yeah, okay. Divination Rebalance. Ooh, okay. Similar to our agility rebalance, we're making some changes to divination to continue the approach we set with the early game rebalance. Divination is a little hard to explain, but stick with us. We focused these changes on the effectiveness of gathering rather than boosting the XP gained. We generally want to ensure that gathering feels good consistently through levels, that there isn't a point where it suddenly feels like it's getting worse, as in the case in game at the moment. The below success chances are the plan average out success chance increases for drawing the respective energies across the full level banding level 1 to 99. Put differently, the increased chance of drawing gleaming energy is actually plus 5 point math 10% at level 50, but slopes down to about plus 4% at level 60, which is the increased value it will remain at through till level 99. For all listed energies below, a similar curve can be expected. Higher chance than listed for the first 10 levels after unlock, with a slope down to level 99. Overall, averaging out at the listed increases below. Gleaming plus 4% success, Vibrant plus 3%, Lustrous plus 2, Brilliant plus 1, Radiant plus 1, Luminous plus 0.6, and Incandescent plus 0.5. Okay. You already ate good egg and bacon breakfast. Lovely, jubbly. God Wars dungeon changes. Ooh. Kill count changes to God Wars 1. We're making some changes to God Wars Dungeon 1 as we found it to be overly punishing for mid-game players. While the experience drastically improves later on in a player's journey, it can currently feel slow and punishing for those levels when you first gain access. We'll be making changes to kill count so it mimics how God Wars Dungeon 2 works, and you will no longer lose KC when leaving the dungeon. That's actually really, really nice. Your kill count will be capped at 200. As a result of the above two changes, we'll be removing the Omni Soulstone along with the Armadillion, Bandosian, Ceratomus, and Zermakian Soulstones, as they are no longer necessary. I started collecting those recently. I didn't even realize they existed until we had hosted some learner event, and I was like, "What the heck is this soulstone thing?" But I guess after you have done the what is it? The God Wars blessing that unlocks it, anyways, isn't it? Hi, Hawk. Have you been? Reputation changes to God Wars 2. We're also making some changes to God Wars Dungeon 2, as we feel that this content is overly punishing for mid-game players, specifically with regards to grinding for too long for good drop rates. Realizing soulstones exist only because you're going for final boss? No, it was when I was hosting a learner event. We found that reputation system is simply a bit too long for what it offers, and that players often outlevel the dungeon by the time they unlock full drop rates. With that in mind, we're making the following changes. The maximum reputation will be reduced from 5k down to 2k. That is very generous. Rewards will be rescaled to match the new 2000 reputation cap. Drop rate increase unlocks will be removed. Drop rates will now be a flat chance for all players, matching the current highest tier unlock. This will make reputation feel less like a chore and let players work on it passively while jumping straight into the bosses as soon as they unlock the dungeon. The title, the Venerated, will be moved one reward tier down for unlocking. Well, it's a good thing I wasn't grinding out for anything anyways, so if I ever change my mind on that when they make those changes, then that'll be good. General changes, demonic skull. The demonic skull is an awkward item that involves risk and reward, but with limited risk and no real great explanation for why it exists. We agree with the broad community notion that it doesn't really make sense to keep it in the game any longer. The demonic skull will be removed with this update and will no longer be obtainable. If you own a demonic skull at the time of its removal, you will have its cost refunded. Does that mean for like Abyss and stuff then it's no longer relevant? Did they make it not relevant anymore after a while? Will they probably try to buff things in a different way without it? I guess we'll see. Dive ability. This ability currently requires the completion of Secession quests, which has level 60 mining and smithing requirements. This makes the ability have rather I can't say the word incongruous requirements for what it actually does. What does incongruous mean? Is that like difficult or like unattainable? Oh, strange. Okay. Requirements for what it actually does and makes it feel inconsistent. It feels more appropriate for this ability to come as a regular unlock from agility. This ability will be moved to require just 30 agility to unlock. That's fair enough, yeah. Obviously, the Succession does have some big requirements on its own. It will be for Hunter agility buff, but that it currently provides. You thought it's already not relevant to the Abyss rune crafting? Did they like change something? I must have missed something maybe. Remember that for when we do the words game? Yeah, words on stream. It's a relic from back when people were trying to get people to make themselves targets for PKers in exchange for some skilling benefits. Yeah. Red and Crystal Sandstone. We've heard your feedback on mining sandstone, and we agree it feels a little too slow. The recent rise in flask prices reinforces that, so we think a further adjustment to sandstone will be a healthy change. The hit point of mining these rocks will be reduced by 50. Additionally, the softened and red sandstone unlocked from the elite desert achievements and the Mylar crystal sandstone accessed in the enemy resource engine will be reduced by a further 50 points, hit points. I heard it was really, really slow, and like lots of people were complaining about it because they made it unlimited so that there was no longer like any cap for it, but then they made it super slow, yeah. Harps. With the removal of traveling merchant, we know that tinning harmonic dust can feel a bit more grindy. To help address that, we're making the following change. The rate you receive harmonic dust from harps will be increased by 20%. That seems pretty generous. Instant costs. These have been a bone of contention for a while. So we're happy to confirm that we will be removing this needless friction from boss encounters. Instant cost gold coins have been removed from all boss encounters. Do I get my money back? No, I'm kidding. You'll still need the secondary items such as Ascension Keystones, Keys to the Crossing, and Barrow's Totems. The Jad pet. This pet is currently purchased with Zeal or Thaler, and it feels a bit disconnected from the rest of the boss pets. I did not know that. I did not know that. For this, we'll be moving into the Jad's drop table and collection log. That makes sense. After all, it is a Jad drop. I had no idea you had to buy it. Huh. Alright, gem bag. The gem bag feels fairly inconsistent, and in some cases, upgrading it didn't feel great. We want to address so it feels like more natural progression and obvious choice. The gem bag upgraded capacity will be increased to carrying 100 of each gem. That's fantastic. Jade, Opal, and Red Topaz gems will now be storable in both gem bag versions. Even better. It was awful. That one is very welcome. Oh, you're referring to the sandstone, right? You love the Jad pad changes? That's actually really that makes sense, isn't it? Excited for the Jad change? Yeah, that's quite good. Drop rates. Drop rates will be increased on the following items: Dragon pickaxe drop rate. The drop rates for the dragon pickaxe are overly low for a mid-level item. We're looking to improve these rates while maintaining the item's value. It's like 1 in 5k. It took me forever to get that for Ultimate Slayer. The dragon drop rates will be increased from 1 in 5,000 kills to 1 in 3,000 from Chaos Doors, and 1 in 10k to 1 in 1k from Chaos Giants. That is a huge change. Oh, of course. Sanguine Crawler and Vampirism Glove drop rates. Feedback on Sanguine Crawlers was that their drop rates for Vampirism Gloves felt inconsistent with the upgrade path slot they're meant to hold in mid-game. While we do want to keep them somewhat rare, we will be making changes to improve their accessibility. The drop rate for Vampirism Gloves will increase to 1 in 200 when on Slayer task, and 1 in 1,000 when not on a Slayer task. Took me 8,000 kills for some stupid gloves that was like super low mid tier, that was just so irrelevant and so dumb. Whatever. Ay. What the point? What the point? Corporeal Beast Sigils drop rates. Corporeal Beast Sigils are in an awkward spot, having an inconsistent drop rate. Special sigils being the most common, as well as being overly rare for what they offer compared to other unique items. Sigil drop rates will be doubled from 1 in 512 kills to 1 in 256 kills. All sigil types will now have an equal chance of dropping 1 in 4 when a sigil is dropped. Linza, the disgraced drop rate barrels. I hear about the horror that is the Linza drop rates. Are currently significantly more rare and do not follow the standard Barrows rates. Because of this, we're choosing to bring these down so they don't feel so mismatched with the rest of the Barrows items. The drop rate for Linza's equipment will be doubled, so that instead of 1 in 192, they will be 1 in 96. Well, I can empathize with those who have gone ridiculously dry on sigils and Linza, because I've, gone dry on Sanguine Vampirism Gloves. Breezy confirmed they'll make the Jad pen override too. Currently, it's just a follower pen. Oh! I've learned 2 new things today. Just don't go dry on drops, Crystal. Thanks for that. Yeah. Alright, that is the mid-game rebalance preview. Some good stuff, actually. It's a bit more nice to hear from some of these that affect like us in more day-to-day, like the instant costs, for example, and drop rates that people actually grind out for on a daily basis.